Welcome to the Alaskan Journey podcast. My name is Jamin. I'm your first friend in Alaska, and this podcast is all about answering the question of what it's like living in Alaska from the perspective of people who do actually live here. And today I'm very lucky to be joined by Darla and Corey. They recently moved up here. Well, I say recently, I guess it's been about 3 years at this point.
Yeah,
about
close to it, yeah.
Right about 3 years. So we're going to talk all about moving up here and what it's like raising kids up here, overall vibe check on the Mat-Su Valley in general, and everything in between. So thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So let's go and start with this. Where did you guys live before moving to Alaska?
Southern California. So I was in Huntington Beach. Corey was in Long Beach. And we're pretty much on the water. So it couldn't have been a more drastic change.
Yeah, what got you guys thinking about Alaska? Like, whose idea was it first?
So Darla had been here, I think 6 times visiting prior, and we were both looking at where do we want to retire. We both needed a change in life. We both had 2 kids, and we were in the process of getting married. And so we were ready to change it up and give the kids a different experience. And she had been here 6 times and really loved it. So I came up to try it out. And it was never on my list, not because I didn't want to come to Alaska, but I didn't think I could ever get a woman to move with me to Alaska.
So that's pretty special right there.
Yeah.
I guess real quick, Darla, like, you came up here, visited 6 times, like, you have friends,
I don't know if it was 6,
family
but
here?
it was quite a bit. So when I became a nurse, I was like 22 years old. And around that time, I'd come up with my grandma. And so we had done like the Fairbanks and the train and kind of, there was something about it up here that I liked a lot. I loved coming up here and I loved going to Hawaii. So
Gotcha.
once I could afford my own plane tickets, I'd hop on, and back then you could buy a round trip flight to either place for like $250. So I'd come up a lot. I just loved it. And I grew up outside Tahoe. So this place it's like Tahoe on steroids. Like the colors are brighter, the trees are bigger, the mountains are taller. Everything's just bigger. And so yeah. So when we had talked about moving, he had talked about Texas, Idaho, Tennessee, and I just said, "What about Alaska? Let's go up and check it out."
Oh, that's awesome.
So it was like on the 3rd day, I think. He's like, "Let's come back and house hunt." I was like, "Yes."
Oh, that's awesome. Where all did you guys visit when you came up here?
We did a loop. So we spent like 8 days. We did Wasilla, Palmer, and then down the peninsula to Homer and back.
Gotcha.
Girdwood.
Yeah. Now, what made you guys decide on kind of the south central area, like around the Mat-Su Valley? Because, obviously you guys got the grand tour. So
Yeah.
So it was a really good tour. Like if you have the time to do it, like we obviously didn't hit up the whole state. We hit up the south parts of Alaska that you can drive to. And we really liked Homer. Looked like it was a really nice place to be in. We probably would have gone there had we not had 4 teenagers. So the fact that the valley's a growing area. It's a good place to raise kids. Lots of young families here. A lot more to do, I feel like. Homer, it looks like once the tourist season's over, it kind of shuts down.
Yeah.
To a great extent. And so the valley is growing quite a bit. And we definitely wanted to not be in the city. We've both done that down in California. So we needed to have a place that was a little more spread out and a little quieter, a little more relaxed. In the future, we'll probably go out further to real Alaska.
It's like, we'll get you out to, I don't know, Fairbanks or Talk, something like that, Glen Allen.
Yeah,
like.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
So what did friends and family down in California say when you guys said you were making the move to Alaska? Is this just something they just expect with you guys at this point?
Split. It was very split.
Very split.
It was very split. So you got I'd say like 75% of the time the reaction was, what? Like, why are you doing that? What are you doing? And then the rest of it was, oh my gosh, that's a great adventure. I'm happy for you guys. There wasn't like a whole lot in between.
Yeah, and that's I feel like that's about
Yeah.
the best reception that you can hope for most
Yeah.
of the time. Were there people that were just like adamantly against, or were
Yes.
they just kind of like perplexed, wondering?
No, I had definitely some family members that were like, I cannot support this.
Yeah,
You're taking your kids out to the wilderness. Like it's like there's definitely like that perception of Alaska.
yeah, yeah, and I kind of think all the reality TV shows and YouTube channels about sustainably living off grid and all that probably isn't helping that.
Well, I think our
PR.
my 14-year-old would say to both of us, like, are we going to have to hunt our own food? Like, she was crying before we were coming up here.
That's
Are we
an
gonna
actual
have to
fear
hunt for
people
our own
have,
food?
yeah.
Oh my God. Like, she was terrified, until we bought the house and brought them all up. It's like, okay, we're not in an igloo. We're in a real house. There's a Target close. And so,
And for like some people, that's like really relieving, and for other people, it's really disappointing. When they get
Yeah.
up here, they look around, they're like, oh, like 99% of the people live like
normal.
normal in an actual town with like,
Yeah.
grocery stores and all that.
Yeah.
It's just got a much better view.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the moving up here, then how long was the time period from we're thinking about moving up here to like we're house hunting and we're going to do this? Like for you guys, was that
We came up like in September for that first scouting trip where we
Right.
checked out the valley, and then I think we were up here in January for our house hunt. And so in that one weekend, then we ended up getting married, putting in for the house, and getting getting the offer accepted. So it was a pretty quick like search, I would say.
I remember that there was a lot going on that weekend. So there's a lot going on. Now, where did you guys get married?
We got married in Talkeetna, so we got married by the river. It was really it was a really nice experience. It made Alaska more special too. Made the move more special.
Yeah.
I think we were driving back to the valley from there when you called us and said they accepted the offer.
It's like, and that's
It's like,
about
wow,
as
we got married and bought a house on the same day.
that's about as happy of a blessing for the marriage as you could hope for,
Yeah.
I guess.
And we did the engagement on the Matanuska River the day prior.
Just doing like
It was a
double
whirlwind.
platinum
We were like,
in
check,
Alaska
check,
here.
check, check.
Her mom was not happy about us buying a house with your boyfriend.
So I had called her, hey, Mom, they accepted the offer. And she goes, Darla, I'm just kind of worried that you're buying a house with a boyfriend. And I said, well,
About that.
we got married today, too. And she just crying on the phone. I love Corey. Oh, my God. I'm so happy. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
it was a really quick house hunt, I would say. And we only came up for that one trip, so we viewed I think like 3 homes with you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, for you guys, you had it very much dialed in, like what it is you were looking for.
Sure.
Because it's always the people who don't really have that clear idea where we show up and I could show them every single house
Yeah.
on the market. We'd be no closer.
Yeah.
But the people where they're going into it like hunting with a rifle instead of a shotgun, where
Yeah.
we're going to have much better results.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you guys definitely had it dialed in.
Yeah. And I love our house. Like
Yeah.
still this 3 years later, it like fits our family perfect. It's in a great location. I love it.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about kind of Wasilla, like the Matsu Valley in general. So you guys have had the chance to be there a couple moons at this point. Like, what are y'all's impressions of the town?
I wish there was a little bit more of a downtown feel, really. I love how spread out things are as far as, a lot of people have acreage and property. We've got chickens and been able to do a lot with our property.
Goats are next.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it has everything we need. There's a ton of lakes. I bought a canoe, so I spend a lot of time doing that in the summer and stuff after work. It's been great for the kids wise, because there's a lot of stores that they were kind of used to before coming up. Those are all close. The friends, are pretty close, so it's good. I mean, it's been a good place to start, I'd say.
Yeah. Would you say that there's enough to do for like families and like, kids that are growing up? Because that's like one concern I hear from a lot of parents when they come up here is, what are we going to plug them into? Because, sometimes just kicking them out for yet one more hike might not be enough.
Right.
So like, what are their
hiking's never cool with your parents.
Yeah.
It's only until the other teenagers love to do it, then that becomes the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Very true. That's very true. I'd say you have to, I'd say get into groups. Like Facebook Marketplace has a lot of groups. That's where I find a lot of information. We came from a place where everything was like right at your fingertips. Like if you wanted to go rock climbing, there's this, 5 places to pick from. If you want to do this, if you want to do that, everything was right there. So it was an adjustment, I think the kids' expectations changed a lot, which actually for me that's probably what I was looking for most in bringing them here. So I think there is plenty to do. We stay really busy. Our kind of hobbies have changed a little bit and adjusted, and that's kind of why I came and why what I was looking at and having the kids raised up here. Mm-hmm. So you gotta like search a little bit more. Things aren't right at your fingertips, I'd say, like everywhere else. But it makes for me, that's what I like about the life here. It's just a little bit more meaningful, I guess.
Yeah.
Things kind of slow down a lot. So for the kids, as far as like, if one person kind of described it, like when I think it was a guy that we were renting an Airbnb from, he was saying that here nobody cares about your fancy car because it gets muddy and it gets scratched up. But like if you have a really nice, warm jacket, like that's like something that people like look at that I'd like to have that.
Yeah.
So I think for the kids, I think things kind of slow down and it's not as materialistic, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Flex culture is definitely not a thing up here.
Yeah. And so that like slow down is like really being a good change for them. But as far as you just have to get involved in everything. So the seasons are a big thing here. That's like important to stay with the season and like when it comes to like fall, there's the fishing. Like you just got done with the fishing, then she gets into berry picking. She's making jam. Our friends, if you're into like hunting, then that's awesome.
Yeah.
The winter sports during the winter, like you just got to move with the seasons. Stay active.
Yeah. I mean, there really is something to do every season except for spring. Like that sucks.
The melt is
We're
not.
just waiting.
The melt is like the worst part. Like to be honest, like the melt is like where it's just muddy and like the trees haven't come back yet. Like that's the kind of the crummy part.
Yeah, but you can't really do winter activities anymore,
Right.
But you can't do summer stuff either. So
The ground's still frozen. You can't start anything.
Do I
yet.
take my studded tires off or do I keep them on? Like it's that.
that
time.
Yeah, it's a sucky time of year.
Yeah.
So I guess circling back real quick, you guys have had some really smooth border crossings driving up here and driving the Alcan, and you've had some not so smooth.
Sure. So I can talk about that.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that.
So I retired I was a police detective down south, and so I did that for 22 years. And when we talked about like making a change, like we came up to do something different. Our first trip up, then we came up. Did we do the Alcan all the way? Mm-hmm. So the first trip up, we did the Alcan, and I think that there was a fire that kind of like chose our route for us. I think. So we had my diesel truck, and we were pulling the 30-foot trailer. We had two
Toy hauler
trailer. So we had all of our possessions in there, 2 Harleys, and then all the kids' stuff, and then I think we had a dog and a cat making the trip up with us.
And a partridge and
we
a pear
took
tree.
our
Of
time.
course.
We took our time because we had the trailer. So I took a little time off and drove up. The border crossing was not good. So we came in through. We were going through a part of Washington. I don't remember which one we went. Sumas. Mm-hmm. So we're going through Washington, and I was still at the time. I was a police detective.
Yeah.
They wanted to know where the guns were, and so I told them they're at home. And then the next question is, where at home? In my safe.
Seriously?
And then it was pull over to the left, and then we began the fun. And so I got detained like in a room, and they were pretty hard on like where's the guns at. They wanted to see pictures of the guns in the safe. Like, is there anybody home? And it ended up, when all was said and done, like, Darla's phone got searched. We both got pulled into separate rooms.
They came and took me and then said, just tell us where they are. We're bringing dogs out. We're pulling the panels off the truck.
Oh my God.
And at this point, I'm like looking out the window, and they had, we didn't bring all of we got rid of so much stuff before we moved up. So I had just kind of a small amount of like memorabilia stuff that I brought with me. So I'm seeing them, like, the box opens, and there's my grandma's fur coat, and I'm like starting to like well up, almost tear up, because I'm like, they're like digging through like all these things I care about and looking, and we kept going on and on and on. But we didn't bring any guns on purpose because we wanted kind of a smoother crossing, and it kind of backfired.
Yeah,
I'd say.
So they kept on telling me that like they're gonna bring out the gun dog and they're gonna pull all the panels off, and like where do you keep your guns? And I was like, I've been a police officer for 22 years. There's been guns all over that car, and so you're gonna have to search it. And it took about 3.5 hours was the total time we were there. And then when
More
everything's
like 5,
pulled out,
actually.
then like that was like the search part. So everything's pulled out of your trailer out on the blacktop, and then you have to go repack again and then take off. So it was not a fun experience at all. And so I was thinking to myself, like, if I was a drug trafficker or was an arms trafficker, like, how else would you treat me any different? Like, it wasn't a good time.
You're definitely not the first person I've heard with that experience.
Yeah.
But I guess only thing you could have done differently is, I guess, get pictures of the guns in the safe, but also how do they verify that that's...
But as an American, I'm not going to do that. Like, it's just not going to
I would
happen.
say bring one, like do the paperwork for one, so they can kind of...
If you bring Grandpa's old hunting rifle that's registered to you, and you've gone through all the paperwork, like I would do it. You know, if that's all you have to bring. In your case where you have like a big collection, which as a cop, then usually you will.
Yeah.
It's way easier to go through. You can go through shipping to an FFL, which shipping isn't the cheapest thing. If you have to make multiple flights, like if you have family members, you can keep your guns with in the meantime as you make flights back and forth. All of our airlines, Alaska and Delta, are very like gun friendly as long as you follow the directions, which is to put them in a proper case, have a lock on it, and it's a really easy process. You declare it to the airline. And you can bring your guns up, no problem, as you're flying up. Way easier than going through the border, but I think if you just had one rifle and you did all the proper paperwork, shouldn't be that big of a deal going through the border crossing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because for whatever reason, they've just decided we are all just cowboys out here just shooting our 6-shooters out the window.
Apparently.
God. And it's like at some point, you guys are just harassing Americans, and I'm about to go call my consulate. Like, you're being ridiculous.
It was so that crossing was not fun. The other, I've gone through another time, and I think, was it the Cassier? Is the other direction?
Yeah.
So the other route that I took, the border crossing was a lot more relaxed, but this time it was just my pickup truck and our stuff in the back, so it wasn't quite as much going through.
Yeah.
And we've also done
California IDs, and we were going to Alaska. It was they were kind of invested in this. What are you doing?
Yeah.
For whatever reason, they're just emotionally invested in your
Yes.
story. And
Yes.
Absolutely.
it's like,
So the
wait, they
second
don't,
time it was
they don't
like-
have a villain in their story. We
Yeah.
can fix that.
So the second time was a little easier, just probably because we had like our permanent address in Alaska and we had our Alaska IDs. I think that probably made it a little easier. As far as the trip, it's a beautiful ride. The road does get pretty gnarly as you get towards the Alaska border. Probably like I think you've talked about, like they probably are not maintaining it so much because it's Alaskans using it kind of thing. But the frost heaves make it kind of difficult with the trailers, so you need to really take your time. I've seen trailers wrapped around trees, and I've seen trailers broke in half. On new trailers,
tongue
literally
and the
the
hitch.
tongue and the hitch was just broken. So those frost heaves are really can really be dangerous. So taking your time on that is really important. But a really good tip is that is it milepost?
Oh yeah.
So there's a book that you can get called Milepost, and it's like I think it's updated every year, and it has your whole trip is kind of mapped out. Where's the next gas station?
Right.
Now, things always change, because on my second trip, then there's like a gas station burned down. One gas station's closed because it's past 5 in the afternoon. So you have to really plan out like your gas stops if you don't have a fuel efficient vehicle.
He had to beg for some fuel from a guy that had a plane and a hangar.
Well, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
He made it.
Yeah. So like taking your time, but it's a beautiful trip. The wildlife is amazing. We got to see everything you can see in Canada along that route. It was pretty. But when you cross the border into Alaska, it's a great feeling.
Yeah.
You're back in America.
Feel like
sure.
you're free again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when you guys got here then, just having gotten here and kind of settling in like the first winter, can you guys remember what that first season was like adjusting to all the sunlight and then all the darkness, or
Well,
vice versa?
Let me start with that. So Darla got to spend the first winter alone because I had to work an additional year just for pension purposes.
Yeah.
So I stayed an additional year down in Southern California. And so she was up here for 1 year where I would just kind of visit once a month, like on a weekend. And so first winter, then she's here by herself. So she has some.
It was very overwhelming.
She's got some thoughts.
It was very overwhelming. I thought, well, I grew up like around the snow and spent a lot of time in Tahoe. I'm kind of used to this. No, it was a whole different ballgame.
What
wind-
made it different?
The windstorm, like the wind gusts and the windstorms. Just the sheer intensity of the storms. I think what made it kind of more exciting the first year is we didn't have our wood stove yet.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So our power would go out for 3 days, 4 days at a time.
No way. Seriously?
Yes.
In that area?
Yes.
Okay.
And at one point, I remember the schools were closed for like a couple of days. So we were kind of all hunkered down in the house. And the windstorms the wind was really bad. It looked like like you were inside of a snow globe. Like the snow was just like funneling like in spirals outside. And I was kind of watching all the trees swaying back and forth. And this big, huge tree in our yard just snaps like a toothpick and just falls over. And then this like 3 moose come running through the yard, and the girls and I were just at the window like, oh my gosh, it was like you're inside a little dome in like National Geographic or something. So it was a lot the first winter.
Well, also our power being out is a big deal because we're on a well. So we're on a well and septic. So like the power going out means that we have no water.
Yeah.
And so no water means we don't have, also our baseboard heating was out. So
There's a lot of learning lessons.
So they're huddling around like a little propane heater with no lights and like candles. So it was an interesting start to the
winter. And that's wild. I wasn't aware that it was out for days, like out in that area. Because I mean, I've got a place not too far away from there, like actually further out. And like I got a wood stove. I was excited. It was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like this power's going to go out. I'm going to be ready. And the longest it went out that entire winter was like maybe 2-3 hours.
Wow.
Like, it was disappointing.
So the wood stove is like we always talk about like going to Alaska, like there's so much to buy, unfortunately. Like if you want to participate in all the different activities, like there's just so many things to get.
Yeah.
But just the like dealing with the winter, like it's studded tires for your cars. It's the snow blower. We didn't have to use it last year, but like typically a snow blower. And then the wood stove. Wood stove was the best purchase that we made. Just like makes you feel better that like if things go bad, then you have something very basic to heat water, to like melt snow. Like it's keeps you warm. But then the rest of the year, it's just like a nice comfort thing to have. Yeah. So like a quality, like efficient wood stove is great to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, I mean, it gives you an excuse to go get a chainsaw and then cut down a bunch of trees around the property. So.
That's his favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
I think it's a guy thing.
Apparently.
She's like, that tree's not dead. And I was like, no, that's a dead tree. It's like, going to come down.
It's about to be dead.
So then we end up like, so I cleaned out our property pretty good, and then we bought some property in Willow, just some rural property.
Right.
So now I have more place to cut down trees. So.
Oh, that's awesome. So first winter, that probably wasn't the best. How did you guys adjust to like all the darkness? Because I know like the cold, the winds that can come through. That's something a lot of folks talk about. Like, what was the darkness like?
The coldness hasn't been an issue. Even, I mean, I remember walking out to the chicken coop, bundled up, and I can like feel my nose hairs like clinking against each other, like little icicles. Like hurts to breathe. Like, even all of that doesn't bother me.
And we can keep chickens alive like through the winter, so like that's saying something.
They don't freeze as easily as you would think.
No. Yeah. And the kids, even like there will be snow around the outside fire pit. We'll make a fire. They're out in t-shirts, and like the coldness hasn't really been an issue. The darkness. So the first winter was a lot to get used to. And the darkness, like I'm a nurse. I worked night shift for 20 years. I thought I'm used to working in the dark. I'm kind of used to being on this weird schedule. The darkness isn't going to affect me that much. It's kind of a whole different ballgame. The darkness was definitely a lot to get used to. The next year, kind of going into it, kind of knowing how to prepare mentally for it. Last year was way better. And I was talking to my grandma about it. I thought the summer is kind of this time where we're doing a lot and there's a lot of daylight, right? You're busy, 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 busy. The winter, we just kind of hunker down a little bit more. It's like I just kind of let our bodies rest. You do puzzles inside. You're cooking a little bit more family time. And then as it kind of turns around, progresses to more daylight, it's back to everybody's busy and off and gone. So instead of kind of fighting it and how are we going to deal with this darkness, it's like, no, we're just going to go with it. And we just kind of adjust according to the season.
Then in the summertime when we have light all the time, then it's like you're doing chores till like 11 at night. Yeah. And you feel like you're never like really rested because you're just on the go constantly. Yeah. And so it's like that's your time to like get things done, and then the winter it's like your rest time.
Yeah. So for you guys, did you struggle to sleep during the summertime, or were you able to like shut it down even though it was bright outside?
It's hard. Yeah. It's hard. And like I think the more you can do to like invest in like making your room really dark with the curtains, blackout curtains and things like that, it's that part is hard. Like
I didn't have a
summertime is
hard
for
time.
me.
I think maybe because I had to sleep during the day for so long.
Yeah,
as a
nurses
nurse.
are
I don't
just a
know.
different
I
breed.
can just shut
yeah.
it off. Yeah, I didn't have a hard time.
Then as far as like the darkness, so second year when I did actually move up here, then I started my new job. So I started working on the North Slope of Alaska. So that was a whole nother experience, another learning experience for me.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So you went from like sunny beaches to like literally the Arctic. So
Yeah.
what was that like?
So I stayed in a camp for the first year that I got here. We would go up for generally 2 weeks in a row, sometimes 3, and that's actually short for people that work on the slope. A lot of times people work like 6 and 8 weeks up there. So I actually had it easy. But we go up there for 2 weeks, and you stay in a camp and work up there. The slope is where our oil comes from, so that's where they're drilling for oil, and it's on the Arctic Ocean. I was working security, so I would actually patrol the field and find my way to the Arctic Ocean every day. So it was an interesting place, and when it comes to the daylight, you get to where it's just you have a short window. I think it was like an hour of light, and then you're dark all the time. So
I think last October at some point he had called me and said, well, we just saw our last sunset or sunrise. We just saw our last sunset until middle of January or
That's
it's a wild
so
much.
it's
Wild
about
too much.
3 months. They just get this hint of a dusk.
You'll see like light because like it's at the horizon, like the sun's at the horizon, but like you don't see the sun, but like you see some light and then it goes back down again. So.
Just feels otherworldly out
Yeah.
there, I imagine.
So it's like being on the moon or something like it. So I got to see like -69 wind chill. So go from like it's never too far from 70 degrees to -69 was different.
Yeah, what's that cold like?
It's
I
the
mean,
kind of cold that's it's painful where your exposed skin like for a very short amount of time, like even just out like doing if we had like a accident and had to take pictures like that short amount of time, like exposing your fingers, they're burnt. Like it's that cold. And so it's a wild place, and the people that work up there for their whole career, it's a wild time, and like it was quite an adventure.
yeah. So when you say camp, like, what are we talking about? Like,
So,
for that?
like,
Are we talking
Not
like
like summer camp.
like 20 guys out there?
So
couple
this
hundred?
was
like,
so I had it easy. Like I said, there's guys that like, especially in the 70s or when they're doing like exploratory work where they're out in like a little trailer type deal. Ours was like a trailer that's been there since the 70s. So it was a large camp.
And they're like big connexes.
Fort-
Are they
Yeah.
camps?
It was
Kind of
like,
connecting connexes.
I think our camp would have 1,400 people. And so there's a ton of people up there doing like all types of jobs. Sometimes, truck drivers or people building roads, people doing the drilling. There's so many different jobs up there.
yeah. What kind of person is attracted to working up there on the slope? Like, is everyone there like excited that they're there, or is this?
It's a total love-hate relationship. If you ever see like the slopers, their memes, it's like constantly like everybody wants to get up there, and then when it's a drag. Like, here's a good example of it. The plane. So the plane actually, like the oil company has their own airline, and they fly you in and out. So like I talked to one of the flight attendants, and she was saying like the plane ride in, everybody's depressed and sad, and it's the quietest thing ever. The plane ride back, then it's everybody buying booze for themselves, and the guy behind you, and it's a party. So it's like the Vegas charter on the way back, and it's like depressed people on the way in. So
that kind of makes sense. Yeah.
So the benefit of it is like they make a good living, and you get all your work done. You do at the minimum you're doing 12-hour days, 7 days a week for the entire time you're there, and there's no days off. So they get all their work done, and then they have a lot of time off. So the guys that do it for their entire career, like it's a tough job, and like it's really really cool they can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see any polar bears while you were there?
I did. So I saw a polar bear. The one I saw was really far away. It's when you get the call that there's a polar bear and he's in the dark, then that's when you're scared. Polar bears are very, like if you see them up close or just see how large they are, they're very scary. It's not the Coca-Cola bear that they put on the cartoons. You know.
Yeah, I just... Oh, that's what was it? The Heart of Darkness or something like that with Val Kilmer and Kirk Douglas back in the day. Like that's honestly the scenario
Terrifying.
I imagine. Just terrifying. Yeah.
Terrifying.
So they're just straight hunters. Like there's nothing to eat but meat out there, and so they've talked about when they are actually hunting a human from far off, they will stalk you and they like stop and cover up their nose to make sure that you don't see the black on the tundra.
Wow.
So they're like the apex predator. It's really interesting and something to like be very like aware of.
Yeah, that's intense.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's intense. For the people that are up there, then people reach out to me all the time, like interested in like slope work and all that. I no experience, no connection to it really myself. For someone trying to get into that kind of work, like what's going to be the best way for them to do it?
All of the trades are needed up there. And so if they go on if they look up the different companies, they obviously have like their job listings. But like there's Facebook, there's different Facebook.
North Slope Force or something.
Yeah, like North Slope Workforce. There's a lot of different Facebook pages that people will list like where there's work, but pretty much all of the trades are needed because there's a huge camp. Like there's going to be electricians, plumbers, janitors, people in food service, truck drivers, welders. Like pretty much every trade is needed up there. The trick to it is the fact that it goes in seasons, so we'd think that like winter would be the time when it would shut down. It's actually the opposite.
Really?
Wintertime is when the ice roads are able to be built, so they're able to like go further into the tundra on an actual road made of ice. And that's when the work's done. And then when the ice melts, then a lot of the places will lay off. And so it's very seasonal for certain jobs. And people are used to the fact that they're involved in just different trades. They might be working on the slope during the winter, and then they're hauling gravel in the valley during the summertime. So it's one of those trades that kind of goes up. You know, it gears up and then it shuts down.
Yeah. How long is that window in which they can actually work up there? Are we talking like 3-4 months, 6 months?
It's probably like a good 6 months of like gearing up for the ice, and then I mean it stays cold for quite a bit, but like to support like the weight of the trucks on the ice on the tundra, and it's an interesting place. Like my perception of being in an oil field would be like it's like a dirty place, but
Greasy,
it's actually like they're very aware of the environment and taking care of any kind of spilled liquid. Like it's all about making sure that if the oil production were to stop, they could pull up all their equipment and then the tundra returns. In my daily patrol, then I'm among like caribou herds and as like being on National Geographic, like you see foxes and caribou and every type of bird in Alaska just all day long. It's a wild place.
Yeah. Real quick though, like what do you do? I mean, you mentioned wildlife again, so this brings me back to the polar bears. Like, what do you do as the security guy when they say it's dark and there's a polar bear out there? Do they just send you out there with?
You have to be a bear guard, so like you're protecting people, and I didn't have to ever haze a bear away from people, but like that would be a possibility.
When you say haze one off,
so to essentially scare it away, like
okay,
yeah,
Got it.
We definitely are always about like protecting people first, obviously, but like the animals, they live there and that's their habitat. So everything, there's laws and regulations about everything about how that's done, but you got to make sure that people are safe.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So bringing it back to, I guess, Wasilla then.
Sure.
Ask a couple more questions, just kind of what it's like living there, like, specifically for raising kids and everything. What have you guys found as far as the schools go in the Valley? Like, has it been good? I'm assuming there's always pros and cons anywhere, but by and large, what has it been like as far as education goes?
It's been good. Our 16-year-old, she actually just started homeschooling this year, which was new. That was something she's been asking for a while. And I was hesitant for a long time. I think I was nervous. I think what my time commitment was going to be with that. Selfishly speaking, I work full time, and I thought, I don't know if I'm going to be able to help her with that. But the homeschool program is amazing. It's through Matsu Central. So that's been like a really, really nice change this year. The high schools have been good. The middle schools have been good. I mean, they have good good sports programs. They've both made really good friends. It's pretty much as soon as they moved up here, the kids are pretty friendly and made good friends. Overall, the schools, like, I've had a very, very good experience.
The traditional high schools in the area, they all have good reputations. Like, I haven't really heard of people talking down about a certain high school or anything like that. I feel like they're pretty safe as well. The high schools have school resource officers at them, and they all seem to be really safe. We haven't had any I don't feel like we've had any negative experiences with either of the kids going to school where we regretted that move at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So just kind of in wrapping up here then, if you guys were to move anywhere else in Alaska other than area that you guys are at currently, like after having lived here for a little bit and had a chance to kind of get out and see the state a little bit, where do you think you would go?
I think for me, I think where we're at right now is a good home base. I think in our future, well, I know in our future, we're going to have little spots kind of a day's drive away.
Like little safe houses.
In different areas. So I can't say that I would want to live really anywhere else full time. But I like the idea of having our house in Wasilla. And I think like little properties out and about in different directions.
Like cabins has been
a
really
river house, something on the river, on a lake, kind of further up in the mountains. Little dry cabins that we have little areas to kind of go out and spend the weekends.
Right.
For another place, like if we were considering another place to just live, if we had to have started over, like Homer was we did really like it out there.
Right.
That is a cool spot. But I think, like she said, I think our future is probably going to be like more like let's build a little dry cabin and enjoy that area. But like Wasilla is really a nice place just to have our home base for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So
we feel safe. We feel safe there. We feel comfortable.
Yeah. Outstanding. So last question here, and I ask everybody this. What would you guys say are the pros and cons of living in Alaska that you've been able to see so far? And if you want to dunk on an entire community, go ahead and do that. They're not watching this show anyway. So
the pros, I've met a group of girlfriends up here that are, we're really, really, really close. And I think that was a little bit of a surprise to me to move so far away, and then a blessing, like to find a group of of just we all have a lot in common and we're all really tight. So I think like everybody a little bit has the same mentality. Like they want to take care of themselves. They want to be self-sufficient. They kind of want to be left alone in certain ways. Everybody has a little bit of like that same like bloodline a little bit. And if you were in trouble, someone's going to help you. So I like that, the community aspect of it. And cons, I mean, airfare. Going back and forth to see family, that's kind of rough. I think grocery prices everywhere are kind of astronomical, but yeah. Of course, I was asking my daughter on the way here, what's your favorite thing about being here? And she said the views.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just simple things like driving to school. It's like I never get tired. You turn a corner, it's like, wow, you know. So the pros are, for me personally, life slowed down a lot. My kids are appreciating things more, which it took a while. I thought for the first year, I thought, okay, they're going to like smother me with a pillow in my sleep. Like they hate it up here. But I can see now, like they're just things have changed with them. And so things slow down. And takes a little bit to adjust, but for me, those are all the pros. Cons is just the distance, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another pro we were talking about on the way here. Everybody that my family and stuff, when I reach out and talk to them about different things up here, well, did you know you only have to register a car once up here? Like when you get a Z tag, they're going, what? You don't register your car every year? Well, like once it's at a certain year, no, you just register it once. So it's like simple things like that.
It's like there's no billboards,
No,
toll roads.
I love that.
That's
love that.
a huge one to like go down the highway and then they want you to like look at the mountains instead of billboards. Like
I love that.
That's an awesome thing.
And honestly, I mean, I don't know. I think eventually there's probably going to be a first that thinks it's a good idea. And I think that's immediately going to become the most hated company in the entire state. So I don't think we go down that road really ever here.
Yep.
but like to her point, like cost of living, like the fresh food, it is very expensive. And I think that we moved at the time when it's been bad everywhere. But like our cost of like fruit, like fresh food is like very high. But there are other things, like she was talking about registration, like just to put it in perspective, like in California, my 20-year-old diesel truck, I pay like $500 a year for registration. For the kids' dirt bikes, it's $50 a year for registration.
Really? To register dirt bikes?
Yes. And so all these little things, like they really do add up where I'm paying a little more for this. You definitely have to change your, like you eat at home a lot, like we always did, and that might be a change for other people. But like,
Okay, that's another con.
Eating at home?
That's another con. I'd say there's not a lot of great restaurants to choose from. So we eat at home a lot.
Yeah, that's fair. And I mean, in fairness too, like customer service is not really what Alaskans are known for.
You know,
So,
and when you do go out, we do go out to eat every once in a while. It's like a fun thing to do, but it's not like a couple times a week.
Should have just made it at home.
Yeah, yeah.
it's like you're just showing up to ask the ingredients, and it's like, okay, take the bread, no run.
Yeah.
But like my answer to that question, like she was same thing with, like she said about friends, but the way our like the community is here, people have like a different experience of like taking care of themselves. So like we like going to dive bars, like that's one of our fun things to do. So like you go to different places, and there's communities where a lot of people are just like off grid and they're living like in a dry cabin situation. Then there's other places where people are living off like the river, and they're living totally isolated, where you have to like boat in or float plane in.
Yeah.
and it's really interesting just to hear people's stories of how they make it happen. And that's not the average person in the valley, but like around our community, there's people that are living like that within 40 minutes.
Yeah. Man, well, that's awesome. Well, really do thank you guys for coming in here and kind of sharing your perspective and the pros and the cons so far. Like I love it when we get people in here who have been here for, years at this point, because that's like a lot of experience that you can kind of share with other folks. So I really do appreciate that. And, love having you guys right down the road. So let's not wait another 3 years till we get back together. But
well, we learned a lot from the show, and just understanding like how this community is, or what these places are like. So we kind of had an idea, and so we appreciated that. So we definitely wanted to do it.
Yeah, well, I really do appreciate it, and we'll definitely have you guys at some meetups coming up here soon. Next one is going to be a trivia night, so
Corey's favorite.
Yeah, I am not exactly sure on the topic. I don't know. It might be all like slope stuff. It's going to be a good night for Corey. But again, thank you very much for joining, and
thanks for having us.
Absolutely,
It was fun.
Everyone else, thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.